Yeah, there was a bit of an interesting battle on the Horizon Lunar Colony, this map that ended in a draw between the Guangzhou Charge.
Yeah.
Do you want to learn, Bren?
Sure.
I'll teach you, don't worry about it. So we'll take a look at this telestration, and I want to run you guys through how this Doomfist and Reaper composition works, because it ends up being a weird scenario where there's so many shields in the game. You know, you've got the Orisa shield, and then you've got the Sigma shield. There's not really any point in trying to break it. The shield break is going to be pointless. So instead, we're running heroes that just kind of leap around behind it instead. So you're going to get Reapers kind of teleporting into the backlines, Doomfists going way past the shields. That's the name of the game here. So let's focus in on what the Seoul Dynasty are attempting. Here comes a halt. So the halt actually at the back here is not really going to achieve much, but instead, let's focus on the halt from Michelle, which comes out. And here's this halt. And what it's going to do is it's going to set up 4 fits to go for these Doomfist punches, the rocket punches. So every time there's a halt being used, there's a Doomfist punch. And you can see here, if I wind it back a little bit as well, that it's Eileen actually peels for this by going for his own punch and punches Fitz away to kind of make space here. So the halt's very important to sync up with the Doomfist. Now the next step to this composition as well, you'll see that both Reapers are now in their enemies' backlines, almost at the exact same time. Once the halts have come out, it's now the time for the Reapers to see what they can get done. Now, it's Happy that ends up much more in the thick of things early on. And you can see that as he gets a lot of damage done to himself, but also to everybody around him, it's the Sigma player here, Hopper, who's getting angles behind the shields, going on a bit of a flank angle to try and assist him and see if they can come up with kills. Meanwhile, Fleder doesn't really get much done on the other side. So, okay, they then use Wraith Form to try and disengage. A weird little scenario where both Reapers are just crossing paths with each other as like 2 ships crossing in the night.
It happens.
Yeah, but it's a really strange occurrence that happens again. Now, here's another halt. You can see it just sucked them all in together. And that, again, as you'll have known, is going to set up for this enormous rocket punch across the map again. So this, again, is just a set play that teams are going for over and over. Now, as Fitz retreats, Eileen does the same thing. He's peeling. He's taking advantage of the fact that Fitz is always the one going first. So he does his own rocket punch to kill Fitz across the map and gets that pick. Meanwhile, Happy is in the backlines again. So you can see, really, that this meta revolves around wildly fishing for rocket punches as the halts are coming in and sending your Reaper into the backlines and cycling these plays over and over again so that you've got an opportunity to go for that pick with a punch and then throw your Reaper into the backlines. And it's how these two teams are kind of battling with those. And whoever manages to come out on top ends up winning the team fights.
I'm not going to lie, that looked like ping pong to me.
It is a bit of ping pong.
I love it.
Going back and forth. But it's so different to what we expected this meta to be. People thought it would just be shield break. Right. Just people literally shooting shields with Symmetra forever and ever. But instead, it's much more about getting damage on people behind or around the shields.